Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D Coin Channel, and this is the 1937 Mercury dime from the United States of America. We're going to talk about this Mercury dime. We're going to talk about the Philadelphia, the Denver, and the San Francisco versions of the Mercury dime, and the proof version, which also came from Philadelphia. We're also going to talk about all these other coins, the Lincoln penny, the 1937 Lincoln penny, the 1937 Washington quarter, the 1937 Walking Liberty half, the 1937 Buffalo nickel, and this one we're going to talk about also, the 1909 Barber dime, which was the precursor for the 1937 Mercury dime. All right, well, so let's start and talk a little bit about why we have all these other coins. Lady Liberty has been on U.S. coins since 1793, and it turns out that that's who's on this dime right here. Let's magnify it up a little bit. And this actually is Lady Liberty wearing what they call a Phrygian cap, a cap with wings on it that stands for, when you wear the Phrygian cap, it stands for freedom of thought. So there's Lady Liberty facing to the left. And you also see there's Lady Liberty here facing to the right on the Barber dime, which came before the Liberty dime. And if you get a good Barber dime, it says Liberty right across the little tiara kind of crown that Lady Liberty's wearing. When Lady Liberty first got put on an American coin in 1793, it was the chain cent, also known as a flowing hair cent. So it was a 1 cent coin, and that came about when the United States first started as a nation under the Coinage Act of 1792. Well, Lady Liberty was on all kinds of coins after that, continued on the Mercury dime until 1945, and then when Franklin Roosevelt died, and then they put Roosevelt on a dime in 1946. Lady Liberty's still on the American Eagle bullion coins that the United States of America sells, but she's not on any other standard coin. In fact, the last standard coin that Lady Liberty was on was the Walking Liberty or Walking Lady Liberty half. It was in 1947, and then in 1948 they came out with the Franklin half dollar. So this is the one. This 1937 half had about 10 years to go, and then they came out with the Franklin half. In fact, some of you might know that Lady Liberty is actually on the Indian head penny. That is Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress on the Indian head penny. And then this one here is the Washington quarter from 1937. Now, before there was a Washington quarter, there was a standing Lady Liberty $quarter that was replaced in 1932. So by 1937, the Washington quarter was in full swing. Now, when you look at these, you notice they don't have a real shine to them, most of them. And these are silver, 90% silver for the quarter, 90% silver for these dimes. No silver in the 1937 Buffalo nickel, and there's the Indian chiefs on the front and the buffalo on the back. And of course, no silver in the Lincoln penny. And the Lincoln penny was the first of the American coins to put a president on it. So this is President Abraham Lincoln, who got put on the penny in 1909, the old wheat pennies. 1909 was the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. He was born in 1809. And this is the penny, and Lincoln's still on the penny, but it looks like we're not going to be making pennies anymore in the United States, probably after the year 2025, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so what about these dimes? What are they worth? Well, some of them are worth thousands of dollars. And how do you identify them? Well, let's take a look. So this one here, 1937, says Liberty around the top, Lady Liberty facing to the left, in God we trust here. Down here there's a mark, and it's an A, and a W. That's for Adolph A. Weinman, who was the engraver of this coin. We tip it up and we see that it indeed is silver, no copper in there. Then we get to the back, and we see this Roman war implement here with the axe head. United States of America, 1 dime, e pluribus unum over here, and there is an olive tree growing around this implement, and down here you see that there is a D, and that's for Denver. They made about 90 million dimes in 1937. And a dime, you could probably get, you might be able to get a meal with a dime in 1937. Of those dimes, 14.1 million were made at the Denver Mint. They also made these at the Philadelphia Mint and the San Francisco Mint. So the way you find it, of course, is you flip it over. You see, there it is right there. San Francisco Mint, they made almost 10 million. And the best San Francisco Mint coin that you can get in terms of grading is a Mint State 68. And one was sold by Heritage Auctions for $21,850 in 2010. So you get a really good one from San Francisco, and can be worth a lot. What about the ones at Denver? Well, at the Denver Mint, the highest priced auction was a Mint State 68, which sold for $16,100. But there are plenty from both Denver and San Francisco that are worth in the hundreds of dollars. If you get a really good one, you might get those. And finally, the Philadelphia Mint. And this one, we got it's still in the plastic because it's in really good condition for one of our coins. And you can see when you magnify this, you can actually see the feathers in the cap and how the hair comes down. Really good detail here, really great face there and lips. And when you get a coin like this, you see that it does have what looks like some tarnish on there. Never clean one of these because most collectors don't want a cleaned one. It'll actually ruin the value for most people. Now, the back of this is what we want to look at the most, and that is when you get a really good dime, you can see 3 full bands essentially at the top here, 2 in the center, and 2 at the bottom, and then you can see this rope that goes all the way around and actually has a knot in it down at the bottom. It's knotted down here. This is called a fasces, or a Roman war tool, and what they did was they bundled a bunch of sticks, tied them up with an axe head in them, and you would actually swing this stick, kind of like a huge kind of tomahawk kind of implement. If you can get these like this, this is what's called full bands. Sometimes they call it FB, sometimes they call it FSB. And you have to have separation between the bands like you do here. Not so great on the top, but really good here, really good here. And that will bring the value up. Unfortunately for this coin right here, this is a Philadelphia coin. You can tell that because it doesn't have a mint mark. The Philadelphia coin like this may be worth in the 40s, $40 plus, probably under $60 for this, and it would cost about $40 to get it graded. So when we get one of these, we just keep it so we can use it, and we just keep it right in the plastic, so we don't touch it or make it any worse. All right, so that's what we have for the 1937 Mercury dime. We have the Philadelphia. We have the Philadelphia down here. We have the Denver here, and we have the San Francisco here. These are out there. The minimum value is going to be about $3+ now because they have almost $3 worth of silver in them. But you can certainly find these around sometime. And if you get one, take a look. Look up its value in the Red Coin book, or look up its value online at PCGS, and you'll have a better idea what your Mercury dime is worth. Have a great day from Big D Coins. We'd love to have you subscribe to the Big D Coin channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.